In 2017, we got a theatrically released Justice League movie, which was a flop at the box office and with critics. However, the director of the original cut of that film, Zack Snyder, got the chance to release his version of the movie onto HBO Max on March 18th, 2021. But which of the two is the superior film? We're about to find out. This is Justice League versus Zack Snyder's Justice League. Here's the story of the theatrical film. Fueled by his restored faith in humanity and inspired by Superman's selfless act, Bruce Wayne enlists the help of his newfound ally, Diana Prince, to face an even greater enemy. Together, Batman and Wonder Woman work quickly to find and recruit a team of metahumans to stand against this newly awakened threat. However, despite the formation of this unprecedented League of Heroes, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Cyborg, and The Flash, it may already be too late to save the planet from an assault of catastrophic proportions. And this is the story of the Snyder Cut. In Zack Snyder's Justice League, determined to ensure Superman's ultimate sacrifice was not in vain, Bruce Wayne aligns forces with Diana Prince with plans to recruit a team of metahumans to protect the world from an approaching threat of catastrophic proportions. The tasks prove more difficult than Bruce imagined, as each of the recruits must face the demons of their own pasts, transcend that which has held them back, allowing them to come together, finally forming an unprecedented League of Heroes. Now united, Batman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Cyborg, Superman, and The Flash must save the planet from Steppenwolf, Darkseid, and Desaad and their dreadful intentions. Now, something you should be aware of before watching both of these films is that one of them has a consistent tone, while the other is all over the place. The theatrical cut of the film has a nice story, but the execution is a clash of ideas from two different directors who have two different styles. You have the darkness and the eeriness of Zack Snyder, and you have the joke-filled and Looney Tunes style of Joss Whedon. Now, because of that, the film suffers heavily on the story, as there will be a badly timed joke thrown in there at the wrong time. The Snyder Cut, on the other hand, has a consistent tone, a dark atmosphere at the right time. Hell, the film got an emotional point at one point and even doesn't throw in a joke. There are jokes scattered somewhere else. And the emotion doesn't have the save Martha cringiness in it, such as that in Batman vs. Superman. No, it's actual emotion. The Snyder Cut is a 4-hour film, and you need to have that amount of time to get a movie like he gave us. We didn't only had a few hours and a few months to complete the film, and he gave us a mess of a story using Snyder's blueprints. So the clear winner of this round is the Snyder Cut. Now, I'm just going to come out and say that I love both of these casts. Let's take a look at the theatrical cut first. The main team is honestly pretty fun to watch. Batman and The Flash were my personal favorites on the main team, but I think Superman stole the show because he had a huge presence and he did bring a lot to the team. And let's just be honest, nobody can beat Superman in being charming in this universe. The League and some of the other characters have one big problem, though, and it's the stupid jokes Whedon wrote. Snyder's jokes are in there, and they're pretty funny, but Whedon added a joke about brunch, a joke about Batman bleeding, a joke about being itchy, all that crap. It's clear that these actors are trying their hardest to make them tolerable, but even they couldn't save the jokes from being bad. And then there's Steppenwolf. Oh god, I'm just gonna come out and say it, that he looks like crap. He doesn't look threatening in the slightest. He just looks like something I'd see in a video game. But with the look aside, he's still a decent villain, though I will agree that he gets taken out so easily. Moving on to the Snyder Cut, the characters here are phenomenal. They all sound like they were written by someone who understood these characters. The one I felt the most sympathy for was Cyborg. I mean, he treats the deformity like a disease that can't go away. That was sort of conveyed in the theatrical cut, but only by one line that was added in at the last second. Snyder did it right, while Whedon did it wrong. Now, some characters get upgraded. Superman acts now more serious and more devoted to saving the world, and Steppenwolf has completely changed. Now he wants to make his master proud, and he ultimately fails in an amazing battle with the League, receiving some serious injuries along the way before he gets killed in an awesome way. Don't worry, we'll talk about that R rating soon. We also have Darkseid, who is not as threatening as Thanos in the MCU, but he somehow leaves an impression. I thought there wouldn't be so much of Darkseid going by the trailers, but I was wrong. Snyder made the villain ruthless and all powerful, and this is how I want to see him in future projects if this is the way they are going to portray him. So, of the characters, you obviously know that the Snyder Cut does the characters so much better than the theatrical cut. Oh, and may I remind you guys that Martian Manhunter, the Atom, Deathstroke, the Joker, and Lex Luthor were all in the Snyder Cut. Whedon only added Deathstroke and Luthor to his cut of the film just to set up a sequel that's never going to happen. Let that injury sink in. The CGI in the theatrical cut of Justice League is a complete rushed mess. Due to the fact that Snyder left the project in early 2017, Warner Brothers opted for all of his visuals to be reworked and replaced, and many things had to suffer. And since Henry Cavill had to play August Walker in Mission Impossible Fallout while doing reshoots for the film, he couldn't shave his mustache. Because Warner Brothers needed this movie out before the end of 2017 just to compete with Marvel, they CG'd out his mustache and he looks like his upper lip is swollen. God, you couldn't have waited a few more months? I already complained about Steppenwolf's design, so I don't need to do it again. The Snyder Cut doesn't do you dirty with its visuals. The environments created that aren't natural look real. The characters who needed to be made of CGI look real. Steppenwolf looks menacing, and it just looks so great. The reason why they didn't put this into theaters is just appalling because we missed such great VFX. So yeah, the Snyder Cut wins this round again. The music in the 2017 film is composed by Danny Elfman, who has written great scores, and he did a pretty good job at making a score for this. I mean, you can't go wrong with Danny Elfman. However, Junkie XL's score from the Snyder Cut is miles better. It sounds more like it flows within the movie like this, which makes it just a wonderful experience. I'm not saying Elfman's score was bad, I'm just saying that Junkie XL's was just better, which is why the Snyder Cut wins this round. In both of these films, the action is awesome. The scene on the rooftop with Batman and the Parademon was one of the only things I really liked that Whedon added in because I thought it was fun. The action scene in the tunnel and the League versus Superman were both fun, and they had some stakes. The final battle, however, was kind of underwhelming because it didn't leave me on the edge of my seat. So, yeah, the action in the 2017 film is good, but it's not great. The Snyder Cut, on the other hand, the action is awesome. The tunnel scene was more suspenseful, the fight with Superman was really scary, and the final battle had me geek out several times, especially when Darkseid showed up. The other action scenes, like the Amazons versus Steppenwolf and the Atlanteans versus Steppenwolf, were the same in both films, but I'd still say that the Snyder Cut had those scenes down better top notch. Obviously, the Snyder Cut crushes this round. The theatrical cut of Justice League is PG-13, so it's open to more audiences. It doesn't do too much with the rating, though. No injuries to find in a PG-13 film are around in this film, and they're just usually off screen if they are. The Snyder Cut, on the other hand, has an R rating, which makes it more open to violence and even the F word at 2 points. There's quite a bit of blood, too, and some violent deaths. Silas Stone and Steppenwolf specifically. Stone's death has him trapped in a room while heating up a mother box, and the laser contains so much power that it destroys his body while Cyborg watches. Steppenwolf's death is very violent. Here's the explanation. Steppenwolf was defeated by the combined efforts of the Justice League. Caught in a rage of his defeat, he leaves himself open to be impaled by Aquaman from behind. Superman then punches him to the boom tomb, where he is decapitated by Wonder Woman and flies through, killing him and ending the invasion. As his corpse lands in Apocalypse, Darkseid steps on his severed head, breaking off his remaining horn. Cue the meme from Friday. That really shocked me the first time watching this film. And honestly, I will never see a death in a comic book movie this good again. I obviously prefer the R rating due to its danger it can explore. I'm still a fan of PG-13 films, but in the case of a movie like this, then I'd go with an R rating, which means the Snyder Cut wins this round. The theatrical cut of Justice League is a decent flick, but it's not great. It suffers from a few problems, but I still have a good time watching it. Zack Snyder's Justice League, on the other hand, is fantastic. After watching this film, it made me want to see Snyder's true DC vision come to life now, which may or may not happen, but honestly, this is really what a dark DC film should be like. It will very likely become one of my favorite films of ever, and one of my favorite comic book films ever. It's time for the scores. The theatrical cut of Justice League gets a 7 out of 10, and Zack Snyder's Justice League gets a 10 out of 10. If you haven't seen it yet, go watch Zack Snyder's Justice League. It's truly the movie of the year, and I hope that some of us can agree. As always, thanks for watching, and if you'd like to see more videos like this, please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Take care.